Welcome to the Great Man Within podcast. Every episode designed to help you discover and live the great man within you. Yesterday, we dived into part one of a beginner's guide to breathwork, and I basically laid out all of the reasons why breathwork is something that's important to build in to your daily practice, the long-term benefits that you can expect to experience around energy, immune system strength, stress reduction. And today we're going to be talking about what are three of the ways that I've been using breathwork over the past year that have really helped me to achieve all of those things that I just mentioned. So I want to give you three of my favorite techniques for breathwork that I've been using, and I'll point you to some resources that you can use to get started now. The first one is the Wim Hof Method. You can go and download the Wim Hof app for free right now and start this practice right now. It's so easy and simple. And by the way, a disclaimer, anytime you do breathing techniques, especially the Wim Hof breathing technique, you need to find yourself in a safe, seated place, because sometimes these breathing techniques can get you lightheaded. And it's all good because you're just getting more oxygen in your body than you're used to. But sometimes you can pass out as you get super hyperoxygenated. And so I do these on my couch in case I tip over. You never want to do it while you're driving. You never want to do it while you're in the shower or the bathtub or anything like that. So that's the first disclaimer. But the Wim Hof breathing method is a activating method where you take 30 breaths in through the mouth and out through the mouth. So it sounds like this. Full breath all the way in, and then a 3/4 of the way out. You don't have to push the breath all the way out. Just let it out however comes out. And I'm already feeling a little bit lightheaded. It's awesome. I love this feeling. And you do that 30 times. And on the last round, on that 30th round, you take the full breath in, you let it all the way out, and you hold. You hold with empty lungs as long as you can. And then you count how much time you held with empty lungs. You write that down. You give yourself about a minute of a break, and then you do the exercise again. And then you do that 3 times in total. And then you can see each round you'll be holding your breath for longer because your body is more and more alkaline. You have more oxygen flowing to different parts of your body. I do that every single morning right after I drink some water. It's the first thing I do every single morning, and I do those 3 rounds. Boom, I am activated for the day. It's tremendous. And then at later parts of the day, where I'm starting to feel a dip in my energy, instead of going for afternoon caffeine, instead of going for an afternoon sweet treat, I've got a 5-minute breathwork practice that maybe I'll do 1 or 2 rounds of this, and I'm back in the game. So the Wim Hof method, if you were to go to the, I think the Apple store, you can download that app. And also, Brian and I show some examples of this. We have on doinnerwork.com, on the resources tab, we have something called 5 practices to make you a mentally tougher man. And it's a 1-page downloadable PDF. 5 practices to make you a mentally tougher man. It also has a link to some of Wim Hof's breathing, to actually, I think Stig Severinsen's breathing techniques too. So that's another resource that you can download at doinnerwork.com/resources. And I'm going to link all of this in the show notes. The second technique that I love is called box breathing. So box breathing is basically you take a, let's say, 4-second breath in. So it's breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold with full lungs, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold with empty lungs, 2, 3, 4, and then you repeat the cycle again. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. What that is doing is it's helping to activate both your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. So your sympathetic nervous system is activated when you inhale. Your sympathetic nervous system is responsible for go mode, ready to be in action, right? You are on your game. Now, you're in your sympathetic nervous system. I'm in my sympathetic nervous system right now as I'm recording this podcast, as you're doing your work. Most of us are chronically in our sympathetic nervous systems. and we are not activating enough of our parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for rest and digest, stress reduction. It's responsible also for a big part of our libido. And when our parasympathetic nervous system is not given a chance to activate, then we find ourselves stressed out all of the time. We find ourselves with digestional issues. We find ourselves with a wonky libido. I certainly know like all of those. So when you exhale, your parasympathetic nervous system becomes online. And the box breathing, where you're focusing on 4 breath count in, holding at the top, and then a 4 breath count out, and then holding with empty lungs, you'll find yourself not only becoming more focused and present, but calm and relaxed. It's a beautiful state of being before anything stressful, maybe like before you go on a stage to do a presentation or any conversation with an in-law, those kinds of things. Box breathing is fantastic. The app that I use for that is called Breathe Plus. Breathe Plus. It's a breathwork tracker, and you can set a box breathing for whatever time you want. It could be like 4-4-4, 5-5-5, 6-6-6. What you may find as you start to practice this breath work is that breathing out, the exhale, may be harder for you to control that like 6 count breath work out because you're not used to breathing out slowly. Most of us are easier on the way in, slowing it like on the inhale, but breathing out more slowly, controlling that is not something we focused on. So I'm curious how that may turn out for you. And the final one, the third practice that I really love is what's called the Bumblebee breath work that I learned from watching Dr. John Doulliard, who's on YouTube. And he's kind of like an Ayurvedic medical practitioner, like holistic healing. Bumblebee breath work is a real focus on breathing in through the nose. So you take a big inhale. And when you exhale, you kind of hum to yourself with a closed mouth. That goes on for a while, and I'm already feeling like activated with that. What that's supposed to do, he says, is when you're breathing through your nose, you're generating more nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is this molecule that creates, that actually is like really responsible for sending oxygen through your body and blood flow in your body. Dr. Amy Killen, who's come on the show, and Dr. Miles Spar, who's come on the show to talk about erectile strength, both talk about nitric oxide being like one of the most important indicators or one of the most important contributors to having erection strength over time and blood flow to your extremities. So breathing in through your nose, and then this bumblebee breath out, holding it in your mouth, and then just creates a bit of like an inner massage in your central nervous system, and it also activates and stimulates nitric oxide. I will do that at night before I go to sleep. It's a great way to, like replace TV or news or social media or your phone with this practice. And I'll usually just do like 5 to 10 rounds of that because it probably takes about 5 minutes, 10 minutes total. So I think that's about everything that I wanted to share with you today. I know that I gave you a lot of resources. I'm going to link that in the show notes. So the Wim Hof breathing techniques, you're going to be the Wim Hof Method you can download on your phone. The box breathing app is Breathe Plus. And the Bumblebee breath you can find at Dr. John Doulliard on YouTube, and I'll link all of those. So as you are trying to figure out this new normal here at home in this grounded existence, one of the best ways that you can optimize your performance is to take care of your health. And breath work contributes not only to your physical health, but your mental and emotional well-being as well, which are also like super important for your everyday performance. So I would encourage you to start your breathwork practice. And if you do so, send me an email at dominic@dominicq.com, or even better yet, here's a better one. Record yourself or video yourself or take a picture of yourself doing this and then post it on Instagram and tag me and let me know that like you're doing this stuff, because that would be fantastic to see who's out there doing this work. And maybe one day we'll do a breathwork session together in the morning if you're down for that. So until then, keep living that great man within you.